It's the second leg of the weekend swing for the Monctonian champs. This time just west of the Harbor City. A tournament at the Q-Plex has kicked the Vitos out of their own rink and down the coastline into the Eastern Charlotte Recreational Complex here in Blacks Harbor, New Brunswick. And we're getting set for a morning rematch from last night between the Western Rebels and the St. John Vitos. The Vitos victorious last night, 3-1 at the Q-Plex. Referees will skate to center ice for puck drop, and we're just about underway. We'll get your starting goaltenders momentarily for the visiting Western Rebels. It'll be Dylan Weil, and on the other end of the ice for the Vitos, with some rest last night, Luca Riva coming in to take over the crease this morning. Cormier will grab that puck and throw it deep. Up the wall, Sedette grabs that one, throws it to the middle. Dag picks up the loose puck, and it's back to McKinnon at the point. McKinnon back to Cormier at center ice, and they play pitch and catch. Up through center, that pass intended for Bellier. He gets it on the short side, and that shot will be covered up by Weil. And we'll get a face-off early in this one. Kaysen Cooling on the draw. He'll win that one back. Shot goes in just wide of the net. Back to McQuaid. McQuaid's shot turned aside by Weil as well. Puck goes all the way around the wall. It skips past the stick over there of Grayson Shanks, and Shanks will recover back at center ice. Back behind the net. Over to Cameron Wilson. It skips over his stick. A shot goes in. Arriva had that shot, bounced right down off him. A long pass off the end wall. Livingstone almost able to get to that one in time, but he just put it wide of the net. It'll come all the way back for Arbo. Arbo will go up the ice. And now Livingstone in the corner gives chase with Jacob Greeley in there with him. Out front, this pass goes out to Cutler. Cutler rocking the white tape tonight instead of the black. Or this morning, I should say. Now Tobin McEwen, he lifts one out to center. Picked up by Arbo and sent right back in. Greeley gives chase, but Noy there first. He'll play it up the half wall. Allison goes wide to McEwen. McEwen on the backhand. Chips one further ahead behind the net. Picked up by Caleb Smallman. Back to the point. Shot hit a stick in the way, but it's kept in by McEwen. McEwen now driving down wide again. Arbo will flip one up the wall. Hit from behind there on Cutler on the half wall, and that'll cause a penalty. The Vitos will be off to the power play. So Sedette off to the box for the cross check. We'll see what these Vitos can muster up here on the man advantage. We'll send out this first line: Wilson, Cooling, Livingstone, Dagland, McKinnon. Face off one. Back to Livingstone at the point. He's going to walk down on the half wall and set up. Cross crease. And they put it into the back of the net. The whistle had gone. The referees will convene. And they'll say no. So face-off will come back in front of Weil to the blocker side of him. Shot goes in from Cooling, his father, on the mic today. McKinnon drops it back down to Livingstone. Max McKinnon rips one from the point, back in front, turn aside. Cooling to McKinnon. From the point, rips one in, just wide of the net to Livingstone. Now in the corner, he's battling down there. Phillips tried to make a clearing attempt. Now Pigeon will send one up the wall and get to center ice. No further. McKinnon quickly up off the stick of Livingstone. No icing. Phillips and Dagg down there. No. Dagg plays to Livingstone. And this one jumps past Max. You hear Livingstone screaming, wall, wall, wall. Now Wilson stopped up at the wall. And this one's going to be played to neutral ice. Cooling, racing in. He's going to make an escape turn down low. Now it's up the wall to McKinnon. The smooth skating defenseman gets center and fires it deep. Around the wall. This one's going to be sent the length of the ice. Riva comes out to play it. Leaves it for Trip Livingstone. The Vitos captain will start at the bottom of the circles, gain some speed just like he did last night on the power play. Puck gets free. Team's back to even strength as Surette makes his way back to the bench. Now Pinot picks his puck up. Tries to pick the pocket of Trip Livingstone. Cutler plays one to the slot. Bellier in there looking to bump some bodies like he always does. Bellier in the corner, picks it up. Back to the point to Shanks. Shanks makes a move, walks the line, cross ice, makes a good pass. Just off the stick of Sutter McQuaid. He plays that one back into the corner. Now the Rebels able to get out to center ice. They'll make a chip into the far corner. Pino gives a bump down there to Shanks. Now Godet sends one in just past the right pad of Luca Riva. Now to center, offside of the Rebels. Pino plays one in, he gets dumped by Bellier. Cutler walking in. Cutler using a different stick than he was in warm-ups as well. Now Pigeon, he gets sent into the boards hard on the short side. Good bump by Talon Pearson. Now Smallman collects this one on the half wall. He'll send one into the corner just wide of the net. Now Pearson, he'll take a bump. McEwen back to Pigeon. Pigeon, a hard shot off the side of the net. One more time, Pigeon down into the corner. McQuaid picks it up the half wall to Pearson, but taken away. Back onto the stick of Pigeon at the point, but he'll fumble. And this one will go back to Weil. He'll have to quickly play that to Pigeon. Pigeon and Noy on the back end. Still rocking the pink tape from last night's Pink in the Rink game, the Hockey Fights Cancer game at the Q-Plex. A great cause put on by the Vitos last night. Pass up the wall. That one intended for the stick of Talon Pearson. It'll be out of his reach, and we'll get the first whistle in a few minutes, which will send us back to the Vito zone. Face-off will come to the right of Luca Riva. Back to the point. Shot goes in. Glove save. Face off one back to the point. Shot goes in off the pad of Luca Riva. Now this pass in front goes off a skate of the official. Another chance in front. Rebound is covered up there by Riva one more time, and he'll hold on for the face-off, this time to his left. You hear the Rebels bench getting the sticks banging. They like the pressure their team has been able to put on here in the first 6-7 minutes of this hockey game. Shot goes in, they score! What a rip from the point. Ty Sullivan beats a screen, Luca Riva. And here in Blacks Harbor, the visitors have taken the lead. The Rebels gain control off the draw, sent to center, picked up at the point by Godin. He's going to work his way in, send one deep. Noy will chip this one up the wall, taken away from McEwen. Livingstone working in, up high, shot off the mask of Weil. Wilson working in. Vitos setting their top line out after getting scored on moments ago. This one flipped to center. McKinnon, or Arbo, will reach after that. Sent back by McEwen. And now ripped on net, saved by Luca Riva. Now down to Trip Livingstone. He'll rip one on. Shot just over the blocker. Wilson picks it up in the corner. Arbo. Back at the point, he'll give one away. McEwen comes in. Nice poke check there by Tennyson Godin to clear the danger out of the Vito zone. Quickly up to Livingstone. He'll send one deep into the Rebels end. Phillips out to play it. He sends one down the ice. Dag will pick it up and reset here for the Vitos. Sent down the ice, an icing call, but it's waved off. This one picked up the corner, sent up the wall. Shot from McQuaid goes in, just into the corner. O'Toole in there. Up the wall. Gets past Dag. Now to center. Good. Pinot will grab that drop pass from Godet. Now pass into the slot, goes off the stick of Dag. Picked up by Shanks, sent up the wall. Dag will send it in. Runs into Bellier, but giving chase down there in the corner is Carson O'Toole. He'll work out. O'Toole still with the puck on his stick. Drops for Max McKinnon. Shot goes in off a body in front. McKinnon able to pinch and keep it in. Down to Dag. He can't get a good stick on that. He gets bumped, and now it's up to Pinot. Hudson Pinot works it deep into the zone. And Shanks, with speed, picks it up. Up the near side, Grayson Shanks tries to make a move. McEwen takes it away. He's down with McKinnon lining him up. Takes the puck. And Dag will send it back up the wall. Now Cormier. He'll run into Sullivan on his way into the corner. Cormier is going to give a bump down in the corner. Now Allison works it to center, taken away by Cooling. Cooling tried to send one quickly up the wall. Now it's O'Hearn. His shot's blocked. This one comes up the wall. McKinnon able to keep it in once, twice, but not three times. As now McEwen will try to hit Allison breaking in. Cormier is tied up with him. Now back to the point. Noy. Down low in the corner. McKinnon. Stripped by McEwen out front. A pass intended for Brody Noy. Back all the way to center ice. Flipped in on Riva. And now McKinnon will start the breakout. He drops one back. And now it's sent up the wall. Noy stripped. Ahern working in. His shot over the net. Bounces back near the blue paint. But clearing that one was McGilver. Noy now. Loose puck picked up by the Rebels. Sedette on the half wall. Plays to center. Taken away by Greeley. Vitos working offside. And a whistle will come. So 7:35 left to go here in the first period. A 1-0 lead thanks to Ty Sullivan. And the Rebels will gain control off the draw once more. Shot goes in, turned aside by Luca Riva. Now back up the wall. Noy had to play one in his feet. Whitaker tried to play it up to Cutler. He does. And Cutler will send it in. Otway. He tried to work it up the wall. Otway had a goal in last night's contest. The only goal for the Rebels. Now up the ice. Goes Greeley trying to make a move. He gets bumped. Cutler picked it up. Back to Godin. Now Cutler. Greeley working in. Shot short side off the pad. Picked up by Alex Cutler. Back to the point. Godin will send it in. Referee takes a tumble. Back to the point. McQuaid on the backhand. Unable to pick it up cleanly. And the Vitos offside. Puck to center. Bellier. Or Whitaker, excuse me. Picks it up. Now pass ahead, out to center ice. Greeley will bump it forward. Now to the short side, it's covered up by Weil and another whistle. Not many of them this period. 6:10 remaining in this one. And the faceoff will come to the left of Dylan Weil. Face off back to the point. Shanks down to the corner. Cooling now. Out front. That one rolled off the blade of Livingstone's stick. Shanks. He gets bumped at the point. And now it's over to Cooling. Cooling in the slot to Livingstone. A quick shot bobbled by Weil. Cooling, back to the point. McQuaid collects, fires, and that one's off the pad. Now it's at the point. Wilson keeping it in, sending it across ice. McQuaid shot off the pad once more. Wilson starting that cycle. He's going to send it around the net, but it's picked up and sent around. But Livingstone first to it. Wilson on the half wall. Livingstone scores! Trip Livingstone with a bullet to the top shelf, and the Vitos have evened things up here in Blacks Harbor. So the Vitos skipper with 3 goals in 2 games, a couple last night from Livingstone. 1 here this morning. McKinnon picks it up. His stick snaps. Saw this happen last night. McKinnon had his stick snap. Saw that happen to Sutter McQuaid last night. He was at the point, had his stick snap, a penalty coming, and a goal was scored on the play. But McKinnon lucky there. This penalty still coming to the Vitos. Delayed a penalty, or a shot off the blocker of Luca Riva, and now the face-off will come to the right of the Vitos goal center. Alexander Daigle in the box for the Vitos for the cross check. Face off, one back to Surratt. He goes over to Pijan. He'll send it down into the corner. Off the wall by Arbo. And that's sent down the ice by Taylor Pearson. Worked up to Surratt. He'll work it in. Someone around the net. Goran will attempt to clear this one, and he does. And it's back the length of the ice. Taken away in front. A chance there for Pearson. Unable to jam that through the legs of Dylan Weil. Now it's back out to center. Worked in. Cross ice back to Surratt. Godet. Sullivan shot through that one over the net. Back to Surratt, and he can't keep the line. Weil will leave it there for Sullivan with Jacob Greeley forcing some pressure down there for the Vitos. Taken away by Whitaker at the point, sent right back to where they started. Pinot. He's going to work at the center. Hudson Pinot, nice toe drag move into the corner now. McQuaid up the wall. Line held by Ellis Callahan. Callahan and Sullivan back and forth at the point. Now back to Callahan on the half wall. He'll go off the post. Now a pass back to the point to Callahan. He works in. Blocker saved by Riva. Worked around the net. Puck taken away by Daigle. Greeley will try to hit the head man. That's Whitaker. Now up the wall. It goes back to Greeley. He's working in. Tries to send one through. Cooling was to the front of the net. Now back to Cormier. Noah Cormier. Shot through. That one off the pad in front. Now back to center ice. Cormier will pick it up the wall. McKinnon, Cooling able to stay onside. Cooling rip. And that one up into the netting. And we'll get a stoppage of play. 1:41 here to go in the first period. A 1-1 game thanks to the latest marker by Trip Livingstone. A one-timer to the top shelf right from the slot. And that's what has us evened up here in Blacks Harbor. We'll get a face-off to the left of Dylan Weil. Kaysen Cooling on it for the Vitos. He'll win it back to Livingstone. Shot goes in, unable to get a stick on that tip was Wilson, so it goes into the corner. Arbo pinching in. He'll send it back down to Cooling. He'll rip a quick one on, and that one's covered up by Weil once more. Callahan won that draw, and he's got a man breaking out. That's Surratt. He was on the suck right at the blue line. But it's played to the middle. Livingstone with 72 seconds. Throws one down on Weil, and He runs into Phillips on the way through. Now back out goes Otway, trying to break down the ice, taken away on the other side of things was Arbo. He'll send one through to the middle, taken away by the stick of Wild. Now Cooling in front. He gets run over, cross check. Now back to Cormier at the point. He'll send a quick one through. That one into the corner. Livingstone going to be first on this puck. Chip behind Weil. Wilson trying to find Livingstone in the slot. Saw it like he did moments ago. Now back to Cormier. This one's going to slide outside the line with 25 seconds. Cormier up the wall to Wilson. Chips it in. Noy grabs it off the wall. Taken away by Livingstone at center. Livingstone throws one out front. It gets back to the point. Cormier sends a shot through pad save. This one gets into the corner, and that will do it here for the opening 20. A couple of extracurriculars there. Wilson right in the middle of it, just like he was last night. So here from Blacks Harbor, through 20 minutes, a 1-1 tie right on High Button Sports. So stay tuned. We'll be back with the second period of play right after this.
Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple.
Welcome back to Blast Harbor, New Brunswick here on High Button Sports. It's the Western Rebels and St. John Vitos. We're all evened up through 20 minutes of play here at the Eastern Charlotte Recreation Complex on High Button Sports. My name's Dayton Camo, saying welcome in for the second 20. As we work in for the opening face-off here in the second frame. Face-off won by the Rebels, controlled by the Vitos, and sent in deep. Center around the wall, O'Toole in there giving chase. It's up the wall. Back to the point to Cormier. He'll send one over to Max McKinnon. Shot in, off the blocker a while, and up into the netting. We'll get a stoppage of play. .1936 here to go in the second. 24 seconds gone. Dagling Godet working in on the draw. One back to McKinnon. He'll send one in. Shot bobbled by Weil, now into the corner. Pinot working in there. He gets that one stripped from him. Now it's worked back to the point. McKinnon. Cross to Cormier. Cormier shot in, blocked in front. Phillips up the wall. It goes back to Bellier, and he'll send it in. Pinot working in on the backhand. He tried to slip one past Luca Riva, and that one unable to go. Now Bellier working in. Cross crease. It's bobbled in front. They score. Not sure who touched it last. We'll see who leads the flyby. Looks like it's going to be Carson O'Toole. In just a minute 10 into this second frame, the Vitos, off a bobble in front, will take the lead. Vitos win the draw and gain possession. Arbo will go up to Wilson, chipping that one in deep. This one out to center. Livingstone picks it up, back to Cooling. He missed on that one. It'll go back to Arbo and he'll regroup. This one kept in at the line by Wilson. He'll work it down the half wall. Now up into the netting. So you hear the official call down there from Derek Cooling. It's O'Toole from Bellier. As this one gets rimmed back around the wall. Rebels gain control, sending it up the half wall. But pinched in there by Godet. Livingstone down to Cooling. He gets one, sends one into the slot for Wilson, and he isn't able to fire that one. This one goes back down the length of the ice, and it will be an icing call on the play. So back down to the Rebel zone. 17:54 to go here in the second period. A 2-1 lead to the Vitos, thanks to that latest goal from Carson O'Toole. So the top line back out here for the Vitos. Cooling with Wilson and Livingstone. He wins the draw, but it's sent to Smallman on the half wall. He sends it out to center. Shanks. Chipped in, but kept outside of the line. And now Livingstone gives chase on the short side, sending his man to the ice. Wilson will get a cross check in there, and referees will blow the whistle. Doesn't look like a call coming on the play. Collins was down there on the ice. The referee giving him a chance to get back to his feet. We'll get a wholesale line change and get back to it. To the right of Dylan Wild, Jacob Greeley on the draw for the Vitos, with Whitaker and Cutler on his flanks. Cutler switching sticks one more time, going back to the stick he was using in the warm-up. Boys still got the music playing here in the rink. Now back up to Shanks. Cutler will send it up to center. Whitaker unable to corral that one off his skate. Cutler bobbles that one. Now a chance in away. Shot. Saved by Riva. And he'll cover up for the face-off. Face-off, won by the Vitos, sent wide. Whitaker will chip it ahead, knocked down, and stopped at the line. This one's going to be blown offside, and we'll get a face-off right outside the Rebel zone. This one's sent up to center. The Vitos will gain control, and Cormier sends one up the wall. It's sent right back in. Riva out to play. It'll leave it there for McKinnon. Sent back around to Noah Cormier up the wall. Whitaker will chip one ahead. Just gets out. Whitaker through the legs, back down, picked up by Noy and sent down the ice. And that one will go the length, so we'll get another icing call here. 16:33 left in the second period. Face off one by the Vitos, sent back toward McKinnon. He bobbled that one. Now McKinnon looking for an option. He'll circle, go out to the slot. Bobbled by Ahern and sent back up the wall. Otway back to McGilvery, and he'll send it deep. In there is Surratt. He falls. Otway picks up the loose puck. This one sent all the way out to center. It'll be into the Rebels bench, so we'll go right back down into the Rebels or the Vito zone for a face-off. Face-off won by the Rebels. It's sent deep into the corner. Pinot picks it up. Now off the wall. Livingstone tried to chip it ahead. It's knocked back for Arbo. Arbo will get their first, beat the icing call, and we'll go 200 feet to the Rebel zone. Face-off won by the Rebels. Pinot sends one out to center. A race for it. Now it's worked out to the slot shot. Saved by Riva. And he'll cover up. 15:28 to go here in the second period. The Rebels chipping away. Face-off, one back by the Vitos and gets around to O'Toole. Blade up the wall. Shanks plays it forward. Dumped at the blue line, but he's right back up to his feet. Played up a long pass ahead for Pinot. Working in. He's still got control at the red line. He'll send a backhander deep. McQuaid now sends one out to the slot. Gets through everybody, and that one's down back into the Rebel zone. Pinot back to corral it. Sends it to Phillips. He gets bumped. Back up to Pinot. O'Toole now sends a shot through the slot. It's off a skate into the corner. Up the wall. Now Pinot working out. They'll get bumped at the line. McKinnon picks one up. Phillips coming in to give him a bump. Now a battle for it along the near side wall. It's picked up by McKinnon. He'll skate away with men all over him. He's going to get a penalty drawn, and Dag will send one in. Bellier backdoor saved by Weil. Now they'll say the Rebels touch up, get a face-off here, and a penalty call, a hooking call. So Allison in the box, 2 or less for the hook. Vitos back out to the power play. Livingstone on the half wall to the slot, sends one down to Daigle. Back to the point, McKinnon sends one through, shot saved by Weil off the blocker. Now it's sent up the half wall, corralled by Cooling. He'll stop up, take his time, send one, try to go backdoor to Livingstone. Now Livingstone back up to Cooling, but it's taken away and sent down the ice. McKinnon through center. We've seen him do this before. Max McKinnon backhanded in. All the way around to Cooling, drops it down to Daigle. He's working up. Cooling to Livingstone. Loads up, fires off the glove hand of Weil. Now McKinnon spins back to Cooling from the slot to Livingstone, and that one's off the heel of his stick. Livingstone works in. Behind the net, he'll stop up, spin back to McKinnon. Shot off the helmet of Weil. And now back out, worked by Livingstone. Now McKinnon sends one through, doesn't get to the net. And attempting to clear that one was Collins, but he couldn't get past Wilson. Now worked back out by Dag to the slot. It'll get corralled by Wilson again. Now Cooling works it out. Back to Cooling, loads up, fires, blocked in front on the way to the net. Now this one backhanded out to center as Allison makes his way out of the box. Cooling finds a lane, he's going to work up, load, fire, blocker save. Now a rebound, turned aside by Weil as well, rebound poked through. Cooling backdoor, and now Wilson unable to fire on that one. It's sent out to McKinnon, he'll clear, and the Vitos will have to touch up as their forward group goes off for a change, and a whistle blown there. The face-off will come back down to the glove side of Luca Riva. 11:24 to go, and the Vitos will gain control, but the Rebels right back off the draw. The shot from the point goes into the netting, and we'll get a redo of that draw. Now the Vitos gain control. Back to McGilvery. Across the noise. Shot goes in front. It's turned aside by Riva. Greeley plays one back around the wall. It's picked up down low by Surette. Sent out to center. Bellier Whitaker, working down the short side into the corner. Greeley has that one played past him into the corner, and now it's up the half wall. Surette chips it outside the line. Vitos will have to come regroup. A couple of bumps on the near side from Arbo and McGilvery. Sent to center. Arbo has to race after that one. The defenseman up in the rush. Arbo working in backdoor, and that pass taken away by McGilvery. Now Whitaker sends a shot through, turned aside by Weil into the corner. McGilvery gives a bump. Surette sends one to center. And now racing away is Ace Otway. He's into the corner. Smallman picks one up and he fires it wide. Phillips pokes one through the legs. Picked up at the spot by Allison, and he'll send it back to Pigeon, and it's back to him. Now at the point, Phillips had to poke that one forward so it stayed on side, but it gets cleared back all the way to the Rebel zone. And Phillips will gain control. Quick pass up for Allison. He's working in. Man, back door! And a penalty coming to the Vitos once they touch up. McEwen. Now Allison worked in, and McEwen will pick it up in the corner. Still in possession of the Rebels, so no whistle just yet. Pigeon, Surette, slot, saved by Riva. Smallman and McEwen. Now Cooling will touch up, send it down the ice, and we'll get the penalty call. It'll be a holding call to Sutter McQuaid. So McQuaid to the box, 2 or less for the hold. We'll go back. Referee said 5 black, but sent McQuaid to the box, so now Pinot. Now on the half wall, sent back to Collins. He'll turn and send one back. Now cross ice to Pinot. Pinot circling. Back across, his pass out of the reach. But Pinot able to collect it back on the half wall. Sends it to the slot. Shot goes in. Turned aside by Riva. The rebound is there behind the net. Cross ice pass. Taken away, Otway down there in the corner. Now Cormier. He gets bumped down low and tangled up as his puck goes back to the point. Collins sends a shot through, tipped, and that one's over the net into the netting behind the glass, and we'll get a stoppage of play. 7:58 here to go. Face-off coming to the glove side of Luca Riva. Wilson and Godet on the draw. Godet will get moved out. McEwen will come in. One ahead. Now a chance for Greeley. He's got to get around Pichon, but He can't do so. It's worked back up, and away goes Surratt. Working in. Surratt down low, shot up high. That's turned aside. Now McEwen working in. Sets up. Down to Surratt, working in the half wall. A dangerous area for a guy like Surratt to fire from. Now work to the slot. A shot goes in, and that's turned aside once more. Luca Riva with the save. 7:19 to go here in the second. 26 seconds to go on the penalty to Sutter McQuaid. Now it's worked to center. Cormier able to get it out past the line, and Wilson will force this one to go back into the Rebels' end. 5 seconds to go on the penalty to McQuaid. He's just about ready to open that penalty box door. Bijan works it up the wall. He's tied up, and now it's taken away. Cormier drops it. Shot goes in. Livingstone turned aside. Greeley now works it down low. Back up top to Cormier. He'll send a shot through. Blocker save. Picked up by Cormier. Sent cross ice. Greeley works it back in. Cleared out to the point. Now McEwen works in. Cooling working back to clear the danger. And now he sends a long pass up to O'Toole. O'Toole working in. Shot. Blocker save Weil. O'Toole on the rebound sends it wide. Cooling in the corner to the slot. Shot. Saved by Weil off the shot from Livingstone. And that rocket of a shot from McQuaid is put wide of the net. Now that one's worked back in. A long stretch pass up for Smallman. Just out of his reach. Now he's in a battle in the corner. Worked up the wall. Shanks giving chase. Now Cooling slaps at that one as it's sent into the zone. Livingstone chips at it. Put right back in. Smallman gives a bump. Collins at the line will send one in. Chipped ahead. But sent right back in one more time. As the Vitos look to break out of their own zone as McQuaid finds a lane. He'll work in. Try to drop to the slot. That one out of the reach of O'Toole and Livingstone. And now sent to center. Working in. Backhanded wide. And that one's into the corner. Pino on it. He's stripped by O'Toole. Livingstone tried to work it over to Dag. Kept in by Livingstone at the line. Good job by the Vitos captain, but a hand pass called. 4:24 to go here in the second. If you're tuning in from PEI today, we thank you. And I just want you to know I'm very jealous of you, sitting on your warm couch. As this face-off is won back, played by Weil. And now it's up the half wall. Chipped to Arbo. He's unable to keep it in. And now Bellier will swing it back. Noy. To Pino. Pino will send one cross ice. Bobbled and picked up by Tennyson Gaudin. To Arbo now. Now Pearson. Working in off the wall. Sends one to Bellier. Bellier try to work it in. And that one's unable to be kept at the line. Pino strips Gaudin. But Arbo clears the danger. Work back up the wall. Bellier was pinched off there by Noy. And Riva leaves it slowly there for Arbo. Sent to the slot. That one cleared. McGilvery plays it back down. Godet unable to make a move there on Max McKinnon, or Jake Arbo, excuse me. Now up the wall, Pino bumped. He goes cross ice. Phillips working in his shot off the pad. Now Dag. Chips one off the wall to center. Gets back and Pino gets bumped by Bellier. Now a long pass up intended for Bellier. He'll send it in. Vitos on the forecheck. Dag coming in. He'll give a bump. These walls here in Blacks Harbor definitely do not move as much as the ones at the Q-Plex. When you get bumped, you get bumped hard. Now a chance in front. They score! A loose puck in front, picked up by Alice Callahan, slotted home on the backhand, and we're all even up. So with 2:30 left in the second period, Alice Callahan has us tied up. But an interference call coming up will send Phillips to the box and the Vitos back to the power play. 2:22 left to go in the second. Top line back out there. Dag, Cooling, Wilson with Livingstone and Max McKinnon. Collins sends one around the wall. Picked up by Wilson on the half wall. Working in, Wilson. Trying to find someone. He goes to Cooling. Kaysen Cooling to Max McKinnon. He'll work it back. McKinnon at the wall. Now behind the net. Cooling. That one goes backdoor, just slid past the pad of Dylan Weil. Now Trip Livingstone trying to find that cross ice pass to Kaysen Cooling like they've done times before. Now this one rips past Cooling back to McKinnon. He makes a move, but it's cleared down the ice. And Riva back out to stop it. Same line staying out there for the Vitos. McKinnon starts it up, drops back for Cooling. Tried to make a move, and that's offside at the line. Vitos will have to go all the way back. Riva stops up, plays it back for Wilson. He's got it. Livingstone makes a move, stops up, goes cross to Cooling, and he'll rim one around the wall. McGilvery trying to get there first. Sent off of the referee, and they score.
Hey, you got an apple for that one, eh? Well done. Sorry? Let's see another one. Down this end this time. This one's from leaving the ring right now. You want to watch the rest of this game or not? Don't like being sure, sir. Right off? Thank you. I'm fuming too, right?
So an unassisted goal from Kaysen Cooling has the Vitos back up 3-2 late here in this second period. Sent back to Shanks. He'll pick it up, send it to center, taken away by Smallman. So you hear the official goal call from Derek Cooling. Case and Cooling at 19-13 as the period runs out here in Blacks Harbor. 3-2 the score through 40 minutes of play here on High Button Sports. Stay tuned. Third period coming up right after this.
Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple.
Welcome back to Blacks Harbor here on High Button Sports. The third period between the Western Rebels and the St. John Vitos about to get underway. Now, folks, one thing to say before we start this third period. You heard the new voice of St. John on High Button last night. Jake had the call from the Q-Plex last night. I've had the pleasure of calling a plethora of St. John Vitos games this season over from the Q-Plex. And I've had a blast making the trip over from across the bay every time. I thank you for the hospitality here in St. John. And if this is the last period of Vitos hockey from myself here, let's have a blast. We're underway from Blacks Harbor for period number 3. The Rebels gain control, and this one's sent to the far side. O'Toole chipped at that one, and he blocked the send-in attempt from Callahan. Now Callahan works one over to Otway, backhanded in front. This one just goes wide. Otway throws one to the slot. It's picked up by Bellier and sent right back in. Back to the point, picked up by Pigeon. He'll send one in, pad save by Luca Riva. Now McKinnon sends one up the wall. O'Toole will chip to center, and that's as far as it'll get. Now Cormier, long pass up for Bellier. It's out of his reach. No icing is the call. Dagg working in. This one's put around the wall, out of his reach. It'll get back to Arbo. Arbo cross for Wilson. Now Phillips. This one's sent in. Riva to play it. He'll stop up for Arvo. And this one's down for the icing. So 18:25 left here in the third period. A minute and 35 seconds in. An icing call against the Vitos will send us back down into the Vitos end. A 3-2 lead thanks to the latest goal from Case and Cooling late in the second period. A power play goal for Cooling, so he's among the league leaders in that category. Arbo sends one up the wall off a stick. That one was of Smallman as he sends it back in. Godin leaves it there, and that one's turned aside by Hariva. He'll corral that loose puck in front. So 17:56 to go here in this third period. No shots on the board here in the old Blacks Harbor rink, but I would assume they're pretty tight in this one as the shot from Collins unable to make its way through. Now it gets off the wall. This one's down for an icing once more. Cooling, Livingstone, and Wilson, the top trio for the Vitos, will head back for a defensive zone draw. Godet and Cooling. Draw one by Godet. Spins it back to Pinot. Pinot down into the front of the net. Doesn't get through. Now McQuaid works one up the wall to Livingstone, and Livingstone works in, tries to make a move, gets around his man to the front of the net, and that one's kept out by Weil. Now Livingstone down low, Cooling gets bumped. Wilson on the chase. And that's worked in to the far side corner. McQuaid plays it up the wall and gets rid of his man, but McEwen picks up the loose puck, sends it wide of the net. Now sent to the slot. Loose puck picked up by the skipper, and he's dumped at center. A penalty coming here to the Rebels. So a hook called here. Tobin McEwen, the recipient of that one. So the Vitos back out to the power play. A different look here. Bellier, Cutler, and O'Toole, with Cormier and McQuaid at the point. Cutler behind the net on the backhand. He's tied up in the corner as Bellier comes in to help him out.
2 minutes for hooking. 3 minutes, 22 seconds.
McGilvery, he'll play one around the wall. He's got O'Toole draped all over him. Back to Cormier, and this one skips over the stick. Arriva will leave it there for his defenseman McQuaid. Around the wall to Bellier. He's got speed through center, but bobbling that puck. And chipping it to the far side. Now Cormier, he'll move it and leave it back for McQuaid. McQuaid up to Bellier, and he'll send it in. Awaiting a check he was, but nothing came. Now, this one's chipped. Cormier sends it back in. Shot goes in from Cutler. That's turned aside by Weil and sent down the ice. Bellier pick it up as the top line comes over the boards here for the Vitos. Bellier working in. He gets ridden off into the boards, but good hand-eye at center from Trip Livingstone to knock it down. Unfortunately out of his reach. So now it's all the way back for Max McKinnon. He'll start from behind his own net and work to center. McKinnon trying to find a line. He'll send a long shot in around the wall. Cooling first to it. Trying to find Livingstone backdoor, sends a backhand on. It's wide of the net. Cooling on the half wall as time runs out here on the man advantage. McEwen back out onto the box, or out onto the ice in 2 seconds. But a whistle will stop that early. 14:39 to go here in the third. Pearson, Ahern, Whitaker, McKinnon, and Shanks out there for the Vitos for the rest of this power play. 2 seconds left as McEwen back out onto the ice. McKinnon has that one off a stick and in. Whitaker chips at that one on the wall. Shanks will play that one, and now a hand pass is called. No, it won't be a hand pass. It'll be a penalty. Closing the hand on the puck, Grayson Shanks. So a power play coming for the Western Rebels. Grayson Shanks in the box for 2 or less. Closing the hand on the puck. And the Rebels with a chance to tie this thing up. Godet on the half wall, sends one cross ice to Serdet. He'll work in over the net. Riva was reaching for that one over his head, and that one's chipped by Pearson into the bench. So the official call, delay of game, as that shot turned aside by Riva. So the Rebels, with just under 14 to go, look to tie this game here on the power play. Tennyson Godin sends one off the wall, a hard snapper down on a while. Racing in was Pearson, but he couldn't get a stick on that one. Now the Rebels work it back up to center through the legs of Surdette. Knocking at that one was Ahern, and he'll send it deep. Pigeon, he's got Pearson all over him. Now Godet works it through center, toe drag. He's knocked over in the slot area, and Arbo will be first on the puck. Sent back to Denison Godet. He'll work it around, a weird bump out to the slot. And now that's sent out to center by Pearson. Greeley bumps his man at the line. And now a whistle coming. So face-off will come to center. Unsure of the call on that one. So face-off at center ice. Greeley wins this one back. McKinnon will lift a floater down into the corner. Greeley picks it up. Picked up by Hudson Pinot. Pinot through center, finds the stick of Otway. Sent back out and cleared by Max McKinnon. Pinot back to grab it one more time. Might be the smallest guy out there on the ice, but he definitely takes control here on this man advantage for the Rebels as Otway works it in back to Callahan. Shot just wide of the net. Now this one's sent all the way around the wall. Callahan picks it up. Cormier's got him angled off at the side of the net. A couple bodies falling. Now Cormier works it out. He's got a man with him. That's O'Toole back to Cormier at the side of the net. Shot saved by the pad a while. Cormier's got to get back to the point. Shot goes in from O'Toole. That's gloved down by a while, and we'll get a stoppage of play with 11:45 to go here in this third period. Face off, won by the Vitos. Back to the point. McQuaid sends a shot through into the corner. McGilvery will pick one up and send a long headman pass. That one intended for Smallman and hit a stick, but that one on the wrong side of the red line. So back to the Rebels zone we go. Face off will come to the glove side of Dylan Weil. Noy in there on the back check for the Rebels. He'll pick one up. Someone cross ice, and now it's worked to center. Smallman tried to get a stick on that one. Him and McQuaid meet down there in the corner. McQuaid comes out with this one, sends it up the wall to Bellier as he chips it forward. That one sent right back in by Brody Noy. And now chipped up the wall for Daigle. It's in the feet. And now Daigle will send it back in all the way around the offensive zone. Chipped out to center. This one taken away by Bellier. He's still got a man in, so he has to wait up and send it in. McGilvery. He'll pick up that loose puck on the half wall. Working to center, McGilvery. He'll rip a shot, go in, and that one's turned aside once again by Riva. Right into that bread basket. So almost midway through this third period, a 3-2 lead here for the Vitos over the Western Rebels. Work to center by Wilson, not out. Livingstone gives a bump to his man. Godin sends one up the wall. Wilson battling down in there for it. Chipped ahead by Livingstone, and that one gets Back to Phillips. He'll send one up the ice. Going back for this one is Tennyson Godin. Godin sends Arbo, sends a long pass down the ice. And that one's going to be called an icing. Referees will convene again in a face-off coming to center ice once more. So exactly at this midway mark, 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes for the Rebels to even this game. Livingstone swats it out of the zone. Arbo lets it go for Wilson, and he'll chip it out to center. Pigeon will go cross ice. And that is an icing call. Godin back to pick it up for the Vitos. So 9:37 left to go. 3-2 the score. Face-off coming to the glove side of Dylan Weil once again. And this top line back out there for the Vitos, looking to strike. Livingstone, Wilson, and Cooling with Noah Cormier and Max McKinnon manning the points. Now a bobbled puck. This one out to the slot. Livingstone couldn't get a stick on that one. Cooling down low. Pigeon will send one off the wall. Cormier, good keep at the line, send shot. And that one is turned aside. Now Cooling rips one off the glass. Livingstone chipped at that one. It's sent out to center. McEwen racing after that, but Cormier as well, and he'll beat his man to the puck. Icing is the call, and a face-off once again back down to the Rebel zone. So the Rebels unable to make a change. Some tired bodies on the ice, and fresh set of legs coming out there for the Vitos. A shot going just wide of the net from Cormier. McKinnon at the point. Chipping at this one, kept in by Cutler. And now McEwen gathers at center. He'll work in wide of the net. Backhand one into the corner. Cutler first to it, but played back to the line by Surratt. Shot goes in front. McEwen put one over the net. And now out to center. Whitaker's got one man to beat it now. Picking up the loose puck. Shanks back door, and that one's just out of his reach. That was Greeley, excuse me. Now Whitaker work to the slot. Nobody home. Surratt down the far side. Unable to get where he wanted, so played it back, and they'll try again. McQuaid chips it up the wall. Cutler there. Sends a man cross ice off the skate of Sam Whitaker, and that one will go the length for an icing call. 7:43 left to go here in the third period. Here from Blacks Harbor, a 3-2 game. One goal is all it takes for the Rebels to get themselves back evened up. Face off one, back to the point. Shot goes in, turned aside. Now Otway back down there for the Rebels. He gets stripped by Shanks. Now Shanks, couple of turns in the defensive zone up the wall to Whitaker. He'll play it to the point. Just gets kept in, but Shanks once again, and he'll put it deep. Cutler in there on the hunt for the Vitos. Otway picks it up. He's ridden into the boards. Now back across for Arbo. Arbo will chip one in on the near side. Noy in the defensive zone, trying to play one up the wall, taken away by Ahern. This one gets played to center and picked right back up by Jake Arbo, and they'll send one in. Brody Noy there to pick it up for the Vitos. McKinnon, or Wilson, excuse me, he gets bumped a little high hit there. But Otway taking the worst of it. Now this one sent the length of the ice. It'll go past the goal line, and the Rebels unable to change an icing call back down in their own zone. 6:30 to go here in the third period. Ahern and go down on the draw. Ahern wins it back, but tied up and back into the corner. Now Wilson. Back to Godin. Godin is shot through. That one's high wide of the net, off the wall. Back to the point, kept in. Arbo shot. That one will be held on to by Dylan Weil. 6 minutes and change here to go in the third. Face off won by the Vitos, but a bobble puck at the point. Corralled by Arbo, and the danger will be cleared for now, but the face-off will come inside the Vitos zone. Rebels win this draw. Shot goes wide past the glove hand of Luca Riva. Now in come the Rebels working in. A backhander's thrown towards the net. Now that one just held on to by the pad of Luca Riva. It was looking for that 5-hole and almost got it. Just able to squeeze the pad down in time. Now a shot from the point, turned aside. Back around to McKinnon. McKinnon looking cross ice. He'll find a stick there as the referee waves that icing off. O'Toole tried to rip that back the other way. It's stripped off of his stick and sent back into the Vito zone. McKinnon's pressured down there in the corner. Bellier to O'Toole. Try to drag move, and that one's taken out of his reach. It'll be an offside call at the line, so we're going to face off right outside the Rebel zone. 5:11 to go here in this final frame. Face off one. Back to Shanks. He'll play it in. Around the net, and this one will go up the half wall to center. To Callahan, taken away last second. And now away goes the skipper. Livingstone shot blockered away. Now Wilson, he gets bumped in the corner. Played up the wall. Back to the point to Shanks. He'll send a shot through, blockered by Weil. Battle along the half wall, picked up by Wilson. He'll work to the top of the zone. Down to McQuaid, worked in. Livingstone shot turned aside. Now it's up the wall to Callahan, taken away. Livingstone shot just wide of the net as well. He tried for that short side corner. Now it's sent down the ice. Linesman wave off the icing. Now a quick pass up for Livingstone. He'll chip it in. Collins has Livingstone all over him, and Livingstone will tie that puck up against the boards, trying to gain possession. He comes out with it. Livingstone back around. That one's sent quickly out front by Cooling, but it didn't make its way to the slot. Cutler out there as well. Now Allison working in. His shot gloved on by Luca Arriva. And with 3:39 to go, we'll get a face-off down in the Vito's end. Back to the point, McEwen spins, fires. That one's just past the glove hand of Riva Luca, and then it's sent into the bench. So we'll go back down to the left of Luca Riva. Arbo in the corner. Coming in to help him is Grayson Shanks, playing that around the wall up to Whitaker. Chipping forward was Whitaker, but gets to the red line and no further. McEwen working in. Drags, fires, and that one's wide of the net. McGilvery. Smallman left it for McEwen. He's battling down there with Grayson Shanks. Now Godin gets to the blue line. He's met there by the hip of Brody Noy. Cutler giving chase. Noy sends one up the wall. Godin will quickly fire it right back in. Cutler on the forecheck, but a long pass out intended for Smallman will go the length. And that'll be an icing call. 2:27 left to go here in the third period. So time ticking down here for the Rebels. Face off, won by the Vitos. Short side shot by Cooling is held on. And Weil will cover up for the save. Ahern, Pearson, Cooling, Cormier, McKinnon, the quintuplet out there for the Vitos as it's sent down around the wall out to Surratt. He's got one man to beat. It's Cormier. Surratt to the slot. He runs into a couple of bodies and it's sent to the line. Not out. Kept in by Phillips. Working in is Surratt. He'll rip a shot. Now it's at the line. Cooling will send one to center. Pichon off the wall and Cooling knocks it back down. Pichon off the wall. Chipped in by Ellis Callahan. McKinnon bobbled that one. Now it's in the slot. Picked up by Pichon. He'll be able to keep that one in. A couple of bobbled pucks there. Now a minute 30 to go in this one. Otway bobbled it. Back to O'Toole. O'Toole on the half wall. They'll play this up to Bellier. Bellier cross. Corner dump. Now O'Toole will rip a shot wide of the net. He runs into Phillips. And now Bellier chips it down to O'Toole. O'Toole gets up and sets up in the corner. Tried to make a move. He does. Getting by his man out front. This pass just intended backdoor for Bellier, but it was out of his reach. He was tied up. Now Shanks picks up that loose puck at center. Pino on the half wall, try to chip it past Sutter McQuaid, and he does. Now a long pass. That one up for Godet. It's out of his reach. And we'll go back down to the Rebel zone with 24 to go. Now with 24 to go, the Rebels will win this draw. Livingstone picks it up at center to Cooling. They'll Play it back to McKinnon, who lifts it high out to center. Pigeon stripped by Livingstone. Livingstone sends one deep, gloved by Weil, and he'll cover up with 5 to go. Shot by Cooling off the draw. It's rimmed around the wall. And that will do it. Here from Blacks Harbor, the St. John Vitos complete the weekend sweep of the 2025 Monktonian Champs here on High Button Sports. Dayton Camo for High Button. One more time, I'd just like to say thank you to the fans over here in St. John for your hospitality all season long. If this is my last game over here with the Vitos, I'll see you in Berwick when the Vitos take on the Wildcats at the Apple Dome. But for now, from Blacks Harbor, Dayton Camo for High Button Sports, tuning out. A 3-2 win for the Vitos over the Rebels. We'll see you next time.